Stephen Friedman, political analyst, joining us on the line. But first, let's take a quick listen to the comments by the Finance Minister, Molefe during a briefing around Eskom and all these issues this afternoon.
The events of the last 3 weeks have been quite painful in a number of ways. The view of the IMC, as stated by Minister Masuta, is that this decision should not have been taken, that the board, if it sought to correct any anomalies in the issues that arose when the Group CE resigned or retired, they could have done so administratively without them having to take the decision that they took. It's caused government a lot of harm, a lot of reputational damage. It has caused the Eskom itself a lot of reputational damage. It has caused board members a lot of reputational damage. The Minister of Public Enterprises, the decision ought not to have been taken in the first instance.
All right, Professor Stephen Friedman joins us. Prof, I don't know if you heard the Finance Minister there, but do you concur? I mean, this comes 2 days before S&P is to pronounce on our credit rating. Already, SOEs, one of the huge issues.
Yes, that is correct, and I think that most people will agree with the Minister. I think he certainly enhanced his own credibility by acting quickly on this issue. And yeah, it does at least send us an important signal that government is concerned about state-owned enterprises, and it is concerned that they be governed properly. I also agree, I was listening to the introduction, that this puts a great deal of pressure on the Eskom board. I think we can confidently expect that there will be major changes in the board. And this will send a message which I think will enhance confidence in the way in which state-owned enterprises are being approached at the moment.
But surely the back and forth, the to and fro, will undermine confidence. And I don't think this is the first time we've seen decisions made, bad things happen, decisions reversed, ministerial committees being set up. Does it not seem like government is getting bad legal advice over and over again?
Well, I think that what we need to understand here is that there is a battle going on within government, and there's a battle going on within the state-owned enterprises. And if there is a battle going on, you will expect that some people will be trying to put their own people in there, people who, in the view of many, are there to look after their own interests rather than the public interest, and that there will be a strong attempt to prevent that happening. And that's exactly what we're seeing. So I don't think that it's a minus for the country that these battles are taking place, particularly if they're ending the way this one ends. If we are seeing a situation in which people are trying to occupy positions in state-owned enterprises which they should not be occupying, and government does act to remove them, I think that sends a positive signal. I think everybody's aware that there is a battle going on, and this round of the battle, I think, has been won by those who are trying to improve the governance of state-owned enterprises.
The 30 million rand, the very controversial payout, it looks like that was a null and void deal in the first place. But at some stage, the chair said, look, it could be even worse if we get rid of Brian Molefe now, we'll have to pay him out for 5 years. Do you think that the whole issue, the money issue, is still going to be contested, maybe even in court?
Well, the money issue may well go to court, but you see, that is probably preferable to the previous situation in which people negotiate these packages without any kind of accountability and without any kind of supervision. This is going to land up in court anyway, because the circumstances in which Mr. Molefe returned to the job were, let's say, highly unusual circumstances. A situation in which somebody leaves an organization and suddenly goes back as the chief executive without any interviews. I mean, this was going to land up in court anyway. I think you're probably right. I think what's going to happen now is that the question of his severance package could very well land up in court. But that is why we need courts, to demonstrate what is fair and what is not fair. And I think that there'll be far more public confidence in what a court decides on this matter than what the board decides.
Professor, we're running out of time, but final question for you. The big question mark around Brian Molefe was state capture after the Public Protector's report. What do you make of the President saying today that he does not oppose this inquiry? He just wants to look at the terms under which it's instituted. Do you expect this to kick off anytime soon?
Well, I find this very interesting because you see there's been a lot of attention on who is being placed in particular positions in the cabinet and whether the president stays or goes. And there's in some quarters a feeling, well, nothing is changing because the president is still there and there was a cabinet reshuffle which is being allowed to stand. But what I find very interesting is that more and more decisions are going in the favor of those who want improved management of public finances, those who want people in positions of responsibility who are looking after public money to do so in the public interest. So whoever is in charge of government at the moment, what we are seeing is a very serious pushback against mismanagement and waste in public enterprises, and that's very positive.
All right, I like the positive take on things there. Professor Stephen Friedman joining us on the line. And let's get to that story.